Just imagine this for a second. There's $1 million sitting in your account. You don't go to work. You don't study the markets. You don't stress about the news. You just rest. And every single month, money still lands in your account. Put that million into dividend ETFs paying 4%, and about $3,300 shows up every month. At 5%, it's over $4,000. At 6%, $5,000 a month. That's a full paycheck. And you didn't lift a finger to earn it. But here's the thing. That's not even the end of the story. Because while that money is paying you, the principal keeps growing at the same time. That's compounding. Left alone at a normal market return, 1 million becomes 1.3 million in about 5 years. Give it 12 years, and that same million turns into $2 million. You didn't do the work. Your money did the work. And yet, here's what almost nobody tells you. You think hitting 1 million only brings good things, right? It doesn't. The moment you cross that line, things start happening that no one warned you about in advance. Tax bills you didn't expect. A Medicare surcharge most people have never heard of. Even your relationships and the way you make decisions start to change. And people who aren't ready for it can build up $1 million and still hand back thousands every year without ever understanding why. So if you watch this all the way through, I'm going to walk you through everything you absolutely cannot afford to miss on the road to $1 million and past it. Let's get straight into it. First, understand how rare this actually is. In the United States, only somewhere around 1 to 2% of adults hold $1 million or more in investable assets, and that's not counting the house they live in. So if you get there, you're stepping into a very small group. But that small group runs straight into a wall. Almost nobody explains ahead of time. Let me show you the 5 things that change, and I'll save the most expensive one for last, so stay with me. Number 1. Your money starts earning a salary of its own. This is the shift people underestimate the most. Below $1 million, your savings feel like they just sit there. Above it, a modest 4 to 5% yield throws off $40,000 to $50,000 a year without you touching the principal. Think about that. That's a full-time income in this country, paid entirely by your capital, whether you're awake or asleep, working or on vacation. For the first time, your money is an employee, and it never calls in sick. The moment that clicks, you stop seeing your portfolio as a number and start seeing it as a second person earning right alongside you. Number 2. Compounding finally becomes visible. Here's the frustrating truth about the early years. Compounding is real the whole time, but you can't feel it. When you have $10,000, an 8% year is $800. Nice, but it doesn't change your life. When you have $1 million, that exact same 8% year is $80,000. Your account now moves more in a single average year than most people earn from working. And on a strong year, it can jump by $150,000 or more. This is the point where people finally understand what the wealthy have always known. It was never about picking the perfect stock. It was about getting enough money into the machine so the machine could do the heavy lifting. Once you cross $1 million, the machine is finally big enough to see with your own eyes. Number 3. Your decisions quietly shift from money to time. Before this point, almost every choice starts with the same question. Can I afford this? After this point, that question slowly gets replaced by a very different one. Is this worth my time? You stop driving across town to save $4. You start paying for the faster flight, the help around the house, the thing that gives you your Saturday back. It sounds small, but it rewires how you live. Money stops being the thing you're chasing, and time becomes the thing you protect. And honestly, most people who reach $1 million say this shift changed their happiness more than the money itself ever did. Number 4. You go quiet about it. This one surprises people. You'd think crossing $1 million would be something you'd want to share. It's the opposite. Almost everyone who gets there stops talking about it, and there's a reason. The moment the wrong person finds out, things change. The requests start, the small loans that never come back, the resentment, the invitations that suddenly come with a price tag. So people who hit this number, learn a quiet kind of discipline. They keep the same car a little longer. They let people assume they're doing just fine, nothing more. Strategic silence stops being modesty and starts being a skill, because the fastest way to complicate your life at this level is to let everyone around you know exactly how much you have. Number 5, and this is the one that costs people the most, so pay close attention. The tax and Medicare trap that nobody warns you about. Here's what happens. As your investment income climbs, 3 things quietly start to bite. The first is a surtax called the net investment income tax. Once your income crosses a certain threshold, an extra 3.8% gets layered on top of your investment gains and dividends. Most people have never even heard of it until they see it on their return. The second is your tax bracket. Bigger dividends and bigger gains can push you into a higher bracket, so a larger slice of every dollar goes to taxes than it did on the way up. And the third is the one almost nobody sees coming. It's called IRMAA. If your income is high, your Medicare premiums get a surcharge, sometimes hundreds of dollars a month. And here's the cruel part. It's based on your income from 2 years earlier. So a great investing year can quietly raise your healthcare bill long after the fact. Read that again. Your $1 million can literally increase what you pay for medical coverage. This is exactly why people build up a fortune and still leak thousands every single year. Not because they invested wrong, but because nobody told them the finish line has its own set of rules. So now you're probably asking the real question. How long does $1 million actually take? Let me show you, because the answer surprises almost everyone. Say you can set aside $1,500 a month. If you just save that in cash and do nothing else, reaching $1 million takes you around 55 years. 55. That's not a plan, that's a lifetime. But take that exact same $1,500 a month and invest it at an 8% return, and you get to $1 million in roughly 22 years. Same amount out of your pocket. Same monthly habit, but one path takes 55 years and the other takes 22. That's a 30-year difference, created by one decision. The gap was never how much you earned. The gap was whether your money was working while you slept. And every year you wait to start is a year you can never buy back, because it's the years at the end, when the balance is biggest, that do the most work. So let me pull it all together in 1 minute. The 5 things that change when you cross $1 million. 1. Your capital starts paying you a salary. 2. Compounding finally becomes visible, and your account moves more in a year than most people earn. 3. Your decisions shift from what you can afford to what your time is worth. 4. You go quiet, because the wrong attention brings the wrong problems. And 5. The tax and Medicare trap hits harder than anyone warns you. And it's the reason prepared people keep their money and unprepared people leak it. Learn these before you get there, not after, because the difference between the two is measured in years and in thousands of dollars. If this was useful, I put together a free cheat sheet that lays out the exact tax and IRMAA thresholds to watch for in plain English, and you can grab it in the pinned comment. If you want the full step-by-step system I use, it's linked down in the description. And subscribe before you go, because the next video breaks down the $100,000 milestone, the first hard wall, and honestly, the moment where all of this really begins. I'll see you in that one.